This video demonstrates how to create custom offers for your customers using private plans for pricing and contract amendments for terms and conditions. We're here on the homepage of Microsoft Partner Center, found at partner.microsoft.com/dashboard. And first I navigate to the Commercial Marketplace tab. On the Overview pane, I can see all of the offers that I've created and have access to manage. The first one that I notice here is Contoso as a Service. It's a software as a service offering that was last modified on April 28th, 2020, currently in draft status. By clicking on the offer alias, I'm brought in to the details where I configure this offering. On the offer overview pane, I see four different plans, three of which are public, one of which is set to private. I'm now on the plan overview pane. With the plus button, I can create a new plan, but I already have plans set up on this offering. Plans allow me to set specific geographic availability as well as pricing, which allows me to have different features and functionality at different price points. I notice that three of my plans are set to public, bronze, silver, and gold, but then I also have a customer-specific plan that is set to private. By clicking on this, I can find details of this plan, the listing, which describes what's unique about it, but then pricing and availability, where I can configure the geographic availability, set the price, as well as define the plan as either being public, available to anyone, or private, available only to the specific customers that I have configured. I see that I must have at least one geographic market selected and configure the private audience, so I'll do that now. By clicking Edit Markets, I can select the different countries out of 141, as well as see which of those have managed tax. I'll select all. And this plan is set to private. This is done by simply checking this box or unchecking it. In this case, I want this to be a private plan, so I have the box checked. All that I need to make this plan privately available to a specific customer is the tenant ID of their Azure tenant. To find this, a customer would go to portal.azure.com, and there are a number of different ways that they can find their tenant ID. Now again, I'm taking the customer view to find the tenant ID, which I would then provide to the software provider. As a customer, I can hover my mouse over the user account, and where it says directory Contoso with a long GUID, that GUID is my tenant ID. Alternatively, I can click on Azure Active Directory, and on the overview pane, I see my tenant ID right here front and center with the button to copy it to the clipboard. I would now email or instant message, send this to the software provider, and back in Partner Center, the software provider will just put it right here. That's the tenant ID. Customer is Contoso Bay Area. And now I'll save the draft. And in order to make these changes, I'll click Review and Publish so that the plan is then published to that private audience. And that's all it takes to publish a private plan. Now, if I want to customize the terms and conditions, I'll go back to Properties. Down at the bottom, I find the legal terms and conditions. These are the usage rights that I, as a software provider, define for my offering when used by customers. I have the option of using a fully customized text box where I can enter in any information I want, or I'll select to use the standard contract. Once selected, and then once published, that cannot be changed. But I do want to do this. I'm using the standard contract, which is a set of terms and conditions that Microsoft makes available for software providers to adopt. It simplifies the procurement and legal review for customers who only need to review Microsoft's standard contract once. But then as a software provider, I can still amend this. I can provide amendments that are available globally to all customers. Maybe I want terms and conditions in addition to what's in the standard contract. But then I also have the ability to add custom amendments to a specific tenant. So the customer with whom I'm working is Contoso Bay Area. So I'll say Contoso Bay Area negotiated terms. And then I enter that same tenant ID, and I'll say Contoso Bay Area. And then I save the draft. And when I review and publish, this is now made available again to that specific customer. That plan, that pricing that I made available as part of the private plan is unique to the tenant ID, although you can have multiple tenant IDs associated with a single plan, as well as this custom amendment. And thus, using the custom amendment made available to a specific tenant and the private plan, I've been able to negotiate and customize my offering so that for this customer, I can have negotiated terms of use as well as negotiated pricing. On the customer side, I will go to Marketplace within the Azure portal. I'm authenticated into that same tenant that was entered when creating the plan. And I see that I have private offers available to me. And by clicking this purple banner, it brings me to those offers that have been published uniquely into my tenant. Now, I won't see the one that I just created because I didn't click publish, but I do see that I have another private offer available to me. And so we've reviewed how to create a private plan for unique pricing on a per customer basis, how to publish contract amendments that have unique terms and conditions on a per customer basis, and then where a customer goes to find their tenant ID, as well as those private offers made available to them within Azure Marketplace. Continue the conversation in the Microsoft Partner community.